So, welcome to episode 74 of Current Gen. I am your host this week. My name is Derek, and I will not give you my last name for stalker purposes, but my name is Derek, and I am co-hosting with Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Okay. And Kyle.
Hi.
Thank you. And then the worst of all of them, like literally little bitch, is Daniel Fredis. Go ahead and say hi, Daniel Fredis.
Hey, Derek, thanks for having me, you son of a bitch.
Hey, all right.
All right, we're done with the fake co-host bull crap. All right, so excited about this show. I actually was very active in planning this show out. I normally, in case anybody doesn't know, literally do nothing. It's almost impossible to get me to show up. So
we know that.
Oh, they know, but none of the listeners know.
Inside knowledge.
Yeah.
Inside
Yeah,
baseball, yeah.
you
Welcome
get
to
the
behind the
inside.
scenes.
They literally text me like all week, especially Tim, who tags me like 10 times. By the way, I'll let you guys know, I purposely ignore Tim. So he just continues to tag me and go, "Hey, you gonna make it? Are you gonna host? You know you're hosting, right? You're gonna make it." So
Disappointed dad.
yes, I like angering my dad. I made it, and I'm excited about this week. So let's kick it off because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We got a nice little.
Sorry to Daniel, I removed he had like a new releases spot, and we just already had too much to talk about, so I removed it.
Well, to be fair, we've played most of those new releases anyway. So.
That's true. They will mostly be represented, so it's all good.
Yeah, which is pretty much what I wanted to do. So I think the thing we're gonna dive into right now is not now playing and watching, and that's probably gonna be the bulk of the episode. And then we'll jump into our main topic this week, which is really, this is what the stuff I like to talk about. This is why I do gaming podcasts, and I like to talk about future games. I like to hype games up. So our main topic today is gonna be what is the most exciting fall and winter game for each one of us, and then obviously we have to explain why. And so we'll talk about those games and why we're hyped for them, and then see if others are hyped for them as well. And then we got a few headlines. If we get to them, we get to them. If we don't, I don't really care. So let's kick it off right now.
There's not a whole lot, so.
No, I think we'll probably be able to get through it. But let's kick it off with the now playing and watching. Let's start off with Jeff. Because
God.
Kyle's not excited for anything, apparently.
No, not at all. No. I've just been staring at the wall for the last week, so.
Well, we want to hear all about that.
Oh, you're gonna hear every excruciating detail, so I'm just waiting my turn.
I'm gonna save the game that we played together for a little bit later for somebody else to bring it up. And another game that we played separately, but not like Derek. You played the Ascent, right?
Like 30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, same here. So I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
okay, so hit on the stuff none of us have touched.
For sure. So first things first. She did say that to me very explicitly yesterday. So first things first. No, my dog's a male. How dare you misgender? Canceled.
Until I see the balls, I do not know.
Am I the dad? Am I the dad on this episode who's actually focused? And y'all are the kid. Y'all are the kids with ADD. Like, is that what this is?
Look,
we're not gonna have a dad. Jeff,
all right.
Go ahead.
Here we go. The Movies That Made Us, season 2. I finished that last week. We just didn't have time to get into it last episode.
Okay,
Jeff, that's not the main topic, Jeff. Though I thought we were doing the main topic.
No, we're doing the now playing stuff.
Oh, okay.
You literally just said that. Oh my god, dude.
I don't think you did.
I thought you were supposed to be the dad, Dan. What happened?
Dad's drunk.
Ever.
Dad's drunk.
Yep, that Mountain Dew Zero. Them big melons are getting in your mouth.
Big melons, yes.
Movies melons. That have y'all heard of the show The Toys That Made Us? It's the same thing.
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's just a documentary series where each episode's about a different thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Toys That Made Us is like, I think the most recent episode,
Netflix,
recent season. Yeah, it's on Netflix. The recent season of that had like Power Rangers in one episode, and then G.I. Joe in another episode, Transformers. So each episode's about a different topic. Movies That Made Us, it's four new episodes. Each episode's about a different movie from like the 80s and 90s. This season was Back to the Future, Forrest Gump of all things. Which I love that movie, but like it's like 1990. It feels like it just came out still. I don't know why. There's some other ones in there that are 80s movies. It's really fun. It's in the same vein as Toys That Made Us, where the narrator is like really silly and the editing's really goofy. So it's fun.
What is this on?
Netflix.
Okay.
The flicks, as the kids call it.
I feel like the toys one is a more interesting concept because there's not a lot of stuff like about toys.
Yeah.
Like there isn't documentary style.
There's not.
Shows,
You're right.
So like, I do love movies, but I just feel like the toys aspect is more interesting. But
the Back
this
to
is
the
still
Future episode didn't really show me anything new because there were already documentaries on that movie, and there's pretty famous stories out there about Crispin Glover and Eric Stoltz being Marty McFly at first and stuff like that.
Right. And actual footage out there.
Yeah, there is. Man, people were just like, he's just lifeless. That poor actor. He did fine. He landed on his feet, but every time people talk about him as Marty McFly, everybody's like, he's so lifeless.
I mean, Michael J. Fox. That's just what people picture when they think of that movie.
Anybody else in that role? Yeah,
it's hard to.
So I wanted to mention that I did see Green Knight, which is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. Probably won't be everybody's favorite movie of the year. It's kind of a slow movie, but I'll be thinking about that movie.
It's not my type of movie. I watched like the review, and I was like, it's probably pretty smart and pretty awesome, but not my type.
There's so many like allegories, and it's like a fable. So I mean, there's so many things that represent something.
Is it a horror movie?
Not really.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what kind of type, what is it? Like, could you compare it to something, or?
It's a fantasy movie, but it's not like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings.
Because that's the vibe I got, is that it had some horror.
I got Del Toro vibes.
It's like unset. Yeah, it's more like Del Toro than anything else. Okay. And he doesn't always do horror where it's scary. He just does it where it's visual.
Pan's Labyrinth.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, that was kind of, there was some scary stuff in that one.
Right. Yeah.
But it's more like unsettling horror. If you want to classify it as horror, there's some unsettling stuff in it, and the score is certainly trying to emphasize that there's some scary stuff going on. Well, I mean, look at the Green Knight guy. If you're watching on YouTube, look at that guy.
Spooky.
He's a little spooky, and it's that actor is like the guy who was in The Witch, the main guy, The Witch, who has like that really deep voice.
Okay.
The Vivitch. Yeah, I loved it. It's an arty whatever movie. It's really artsy movie, artsy fartsy, slow. Not everybody's gonna love it, but I really, really liked it. And the last 20 minutes are just phenomenal.
Yeah. So did you watch this as well?
No, I meant to, but just not enough time in the day for me to have gotten to it. So I'm gonna go see it right after work sometime next week. But everything Jeff was just saying just validates how me wanting to see the movie more. Like I'm like, oh, it's kind of slow and thinky and artsy. I'm in.
Oh, dude.
So it's only in the theater, right?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, only in theater.
I think it's like a 45-day window or whatever, so people will be able to access it sooner rather than later. I think that window is still in effect.
I just want to throw in, since it's not like one of our topics and we're talking movies, I am super happy and excited that the new Suicide Squad is getting killer reviews.
Yeah.
We're both seeing it. My kids, all three of my kids wanted to see it, so I bought it before reviews came out. I'm not a original Suicide Squad hater. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. Sure, it was disappointing to a certain extent, but I was not expecting this new one to be getting the reviews it's getting, and that, I don't know, it's just pretty exciting that it hits on the comedy side, plus it's really gory and edgy, I guess. So I'm excited about that.
I think I'm seeing that Thursday night. I definitely bought a ticket to see it in the theater and not
Friday for
Max.
Me. Yeah, Friday for me. What do you mean HBO Max?
It's coming on HBO Max.
Same
for
day.
Like 30 days.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I still would rather see it in the theater.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did the same thing with Black Widow. I had to see it in theaters. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's coming. I can't wait for that. And I'm on the contrary, I'm not really surprised by the reviews because James Gunn already did this whole ensemble superhero thing twice to great success, and he helped with Infinity War Endgame.
I heard he had a lot more freedom with this movie too. So.
Oh yeah. DC was just like, just do what you want.
Just do it. Yeah, do whatever. Take whoever you want, kill whoever you want.
Yeah. I'm glad they uncanceled James Gunn, because that whole thing was,
Yeah,
was
I didn't even know he was doing this movie until the reviews, until I watched it, and they're like, James Gunn nailed it, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. I know who that guy's. All right, cool. Anything else, Jeffrey?
Yes, two other things. I saw Stillwater, which is the Matt Damon. They got my daughter. She's in jail. I'm gonna free her.
Was it any
Jason
good?
Bourne?
Oh yeah, it was really good. It was really intense. It's by the guy who did Spotlight. Which I love that movie.
Yeah, same.
it doesn't hit as hard as Spotlight, but it's basically, this is like a spin on the Amanda Knox story, which for those of you that might not know, that was like an American student that was imprisoned in Italy for murdering her roommate or something. And the media spun it up like she was like sex crazed and all this stuff. And then it turns out she didn't do it, and now she's free. So it's kind of like a spin on that, but there's more to it. It's not just that story verbatim. But it's kind of a thrilling, like I'm just riveted during this movie.
And because keep in mind, when you guys talk movies, I don't watch them. Yeah. Where did you see this movie?
Theaters. This was a
theaters
release.
Too. Okay.
Yeah. Theaters are back, baby.
The one that's closest to me is smaller and isn't as popular. So I'm able to get into screenings and there aren't many people there. So like that's kind of a plus to me. I don't like being around.
That's the best way to watch movies.
Even pre-pandemic, I just didn't want people around.
Yeah, I tried to go at the times where like the least amount of people would be there.
Exactly. My kids absolutely hate when we go to the theaters and they have to sit by somebody. So
I
absolutely understand. Hate it. Last thing is Unbound: Worlds Apart. It's a game. Just came out this week.
Time, bro. This is a gaming podcast, bro.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a movie guy. But Unbound, I literally just played 30 minutes of before we started recording. It's it's kind of like an Ori platformer. I haven't unlocked any action stuff yet. That's literally how far I am into it. If there is action, I haven't gotten to it. It's like I'm 15, 20 minutes into it. But the mechanic that you unlock very early is you have a portal control or whatever, where you can, I think it's LB you click on, and it opens a portal to like another world, and it changes the environment around you. Like a monster suddenly turns into like a stone block that you can move around, and you can jump to the next level or whatever. So it's kind of, I can compare it to another game, but it's not jumping out at my brain right now what it feels like I'm playing.
I'm actually gonna just like Google it just to see what it looks like.
It's like a hand-drawn Ori, basically.
I'm pretty sure
all the characters have hoods and stuff.
I'm pretty sure I saw some images, Derek. Knowing your taste, I'm gonna say you probably wouldn't be super into it, but
I don't know. It actually
I know you like Ori, but I feel like it doesn't look as good as Ori. I could be wrong, but
it's like
what was that game that I was like excited about that I don't think any of you really tried? It was like the Fist of Fury or something. I don't know. It was like an Ori type game.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It was like Fist. It's coming out soon, right? You're talking about an upcoming game?
No, it already came out. It's on Game Pass. I forgot. It's made by some guys that...
You're not talking about Fist of the North Star, right? Because that's not like Ori.
No. Forget.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But I remember I shared it with you guys because Kyle was even like, yeah, I'll have to check it out, because I was like, it's kind of like Ori. It's not exactly like Ori. But... I forgot the name, but it's on Game Pass, and it has that same type of like art style.
Yeah, it has a similar art style.
This is on Game Pass. Unbound: Worlds Apart.
Oh well, no, I got it on Steam. I mean, I don't know if it's on Game Pass. I didn't even check. I should probably start checking there by default now. That's my bad. It's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good though so far. But again, I'm super early into it. I just really dig that.
Are you out of your gaming funk? Or would you say you're still in it?
Kinda. I think I will be when we all get more time together to play some of the titles that just came out. And I know Kyle's on Elder Scrolls Online still. And I just downloaded that. I want to start playing that with him.
I need Kyle to get off that.
I'm playing other games, okay? That's the one and only right now.
Okay.
Hey, I know that feeling. I just started 14 like a little while ago. I'm on a minor break right now, but
yeah,
Daniel, I did not transition to you. Please shut your damn mouth.
I don't give a shit.
This is how the podcast goes when Dad's gone.
Poor Tim is gonna have.
You basically have the mean stepdad, the like drunken mean stepdad. Like, shut the fuck up.
The evil stepmother.
Right. So Jeff's done, and we're gonna transition to Kyle because I find them to be a little more interesting than.
Well. You're not going to find my games very interesting, but
the reason he says this is because we have similar senses of humor, and he just doesn't want to look in the mirror and see me, which is also seeing him. Bro.
See me, see you, see me, see you.
See me, see you, see me.
Kyle.
Lately I have been playing Samurai Warriors 5.
I actually wanted to hear about this.
Go ahead. Great. Yeah, I really like this series a lot. I've been playing Dynasty Warriors since like Dynasty Warriors 2 on like PlayStation. PlayStation 2. I played every single version of it, every Gundam. Even though I've never even seen One Piece, I played One Piece Warriors or whatever that one was.
Wow.
I play them all. I love it. These are like my once a year I'd like to play a Warriors game and a racing game as like a palate cleanser. Like get those like open world like feelings off the table. Get those like giant sprawling story RPGs off the table. Like all that stuff. Like I need to stop that stuff for a little bit and like have some like comfort.
I think
this game
right now is like the good time because even we've got a lot of games we're talking about today, but none of them are like major new releases.
No,
I think most of what we're playing is mainly because we're like, well, a lot of them are on Game Pass, but it's because there isn't like a ton of like. There's no major game.
It's it's the summer. There's never any major releases, So I feel like I'm more busy this summer than most summers, but not with like big
feel
games.
That too. Yeah.
Like
Samurai games,
Samurai Warriors 5 releasing in
perfect
July is a perfect time.
Like I don't want this game releasing in November ever any year.
That would
period.
be
it's
stupid.
Dumb. So I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's a retelling of the original story of like Oda Nobunaga's like rise, and the warring states and all that stuff, and it specifically follows his story.
Do they do anything different than any of the other Warriors
games?
Like,
so now you have.
How do they separate a Samurai Warriors game from?
Oh, they don't. No, I mean Gundam feels the same. Like they all feel exactly the same. Zelda, all of it feels the same. Even Persona Strikers. Like when you're playing, that's like the most different feeling of all of them, I would say.
The reason I asked is because the last Zelda one that came out. Yes, it plays like a Warriors game as far as like hack and slash, but there was a lot of special abilities that you had that were strictly Zelda.
There was,
so
and I would say
Samurai Warriors
there are skills in this game where like you hold down R1 and you hit any of the face buttons and like it does a particular thing, and I've never seen that in a Warriors game before.
Okay.
If it hasn't been implemented in this way. So that feels pretty good. You can switch characters, which is not new to the series, but it's always a really welcome addition whenever they do add it. So you can kind of jump to different characters around the map.
Is this the first one that has this visual style that looks almost sort of like a Street Fighter 4 and 5?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up because that is the big departure. Is that it's a watercolor style, like almost cell shaded, which is different.
I noticed that.
The graphics in this series has never been great. It's always been poor, I would even say.
Yeah,
lots of
there's a lot going
like
on,
a smart move, though.
Like it's not about that, but this kind of covers up those rough edges a little bit, I would say. So it's easily the best looking game in the series so far, and it's just a lot of fun, man. Like, shut off your brain and kill 1,000 dudes. It's all in Japanese, so like I have no idea what's going on because I can't read and play at the same time.
Do you beat the campaign? The campaign?
No, I'm 4 or 5 hours in, and
no. I'm sorry. I was trying to say, do you normally beat Warriors campaign, or do you play them for like 10 hours and shut off?
No, I don't maybe 100% these games, but I always take it through the main campaign.
All right,
for sure.
Cool.
For this one, you're not choosing a faction and going through their campaign, and then that unlocks a new faction, and you go through theirs. It's one consistent story that just follows Nobunaga. And his gang, and his family and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, like the story progresses throughout his entire life. So like, I could be wrong on this, but I think like the character models are gonna like age for the first time, whereas like previous games, like it's still teenagers being like, I'm 80 now, and I've ran this family into the ground or whatever, and it's still like this 18-year-old kid model or whatever. So I think like I think at least their costumes change and stuff like that. So. Again, I feel like I put a lot of time into this game, and I'm just still scratching the surface of it. It feels like it's going to be a pretty long story, and it's pretty historically accurate. I'm not saying like it's it's obviously dramatized, and they add a lot of like fun story elements stuff like that. But for the most part, like these battles happened. It's just like Dynasty Warriors. Like these people were real. So. That part of it's pretty interesting, and the cutscenes are fun. Like the story is good enough where you're like, oh, okay, I kind of want to get through this battle, kind of see the next portion of what's going to happen to this family. Having a lot of fun with this game. It's great. Again, playing ESO right now, like being able to not play that and jump into something like this that's so mindless. Like it's just what I need right now. So been really enjoying that game. Definitely, if you're a Warriors fan, I would say it's a must get. I think it's one of the better entries so far.
All right, cool. Anything else besides? Well, you can, of course, talk about Elder Scrolls, but is there anything else you put on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the games that we kind of all played together playing, so we can kick that can down the road for other to say it, for other people to bring it up.
All right,
in terms of,
Elder
I was going to say, in
Scrolls,
just terms of ESO, I'm at the in-game stuff now, so this will be like the third MMO ever I've gotten to the. I played almost every MMO ever to ever come out, but I never get to the end game because I just lose interest. So hey, I must be enjoying this one because I did get to the end game of this one. So
are you playing it though co-op or solo?
I'm mostly playing with my roommate and a friend, so I've got a crew right now. Who's
playing with Jesse?
I'm trying to join up too.
Jeff's about to join in.
Okay.
I was gonna say, are you playing with Jesse? Because I know Jesse's been playing that.
Jesse, we're trying to get in. I didn't play much this week, and we had plans to kind of play either this week or next week. I think he's gonna get integrated into the crew here, so we're gonna have a whole legion of us just going around.
When you add Jesse, that's when the game becomes shit, and you guys will eventually stop.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
It's just going to be me and Jesse telling each other to shut up for 3 hours of our play session. So.
Pretty much. Shut up. You're wrong about this. All right. So I guess it'd be rude if the host just starts talking about his stuff and leaves out little bitch. Go ahead, little bitch.
For the love of God, give Tim a break at least. Jesus, there's been like 40 profanities already. Poor dad. Jeez.
Oh, poor
All right,
guy.
so I got 3 things on the agenda here. One's not listed because it's a surprise. So Greek Memories of Azer. Azer.
I have it downloaded.
Not sure how to pronounce it. It's I didn't play super long, kind of like you, Jeff, with what was it? What was the game you just mentioned? Unbound. Thank you. But I got a good gist of it. It's as far as artistically, it's very, very similar to Hollow Knight. So if you like the look of Hollow Knight, there's a lot of similarity there. It's just way more color, a lot less of the sort of blacks and grays and whites. Not that Hollow Knight doesn't have areas that have color in them later on, but it's just a very dreary sort of visual style. Gameplay-wise, that character that you start the demo with is pretty similar to Hollow Knight. Just kind of like with the sword, just sword combat. So, stabbing enemies, kind of doing an upward slash, a downward slash. But where it differs is there's like a couple other characters. I didn't get the third character in the demo, but there's actually other characters that you find in the game, and then they actually run alongside you. So you hold on the Switch, what is it, LZ? The back trigger button, and essentially you summon that character towards you. So you kind of you basically create this like sphere of light, and the other characters will come towards you, whichever main character that you're using at that moment. So they'll follow you around. But the second character that you meet is like a mage, so she shoots like projectiles. And then I think the third character has like a shield, so I'm going to assume that they play a bit differently. So that's where the gameplay is going to differ. Kind of like each character plays a little bit differently. And then you can actually swap between the characters. So like if you have like an environmental puzzle where like one type of character has to sort of get around a wall to like step on the switch to open the gate to let the other characters through, like that sort of stuff. So not that we haven't seen that before in games, but just kind of incorporating that with the artistic visual style of Hollow Knight just kind of gives it a little bit of a difference. It seems like it has nice music too. So I think in general, if you liked Hollow Knight, there's potential here for that to be something that you could be interested in as well.
Where did you play the demo at?
It was on the Switch. I don't know if it's coming out on anything else. There was a little bit of jank.
There's a PlayStation trailer, so it's for sure.
So Dan, Hollow Knight, I found it was navigating in that game was just kind of like pick a direction. Like did this game feel that way, or is there a little more focus on a direction that you're going in, or?
The demo was pretty basic, so there wasn't any sort of labyrinthian sort of like areas that I hit. I only played about maybe 20 minutes, but I just got a good gist of like what like they were going for visually, and then as far as like the gameplay, like kind of like having that be a bit different from Hollow Knight. So later on, it could get a little more complex as far as the environments. But yeah, no, I totally get that. I did end up beating Hollow Knight, but yeah, no, for sure, it's very like labyrinthian, and it's like unless you just if you don't have a good sense of direction, I can understand where Hollow Knight can be confusing. I was pretty solid for most of that game, but I can't say for sure with this game if it's like that, so. But I think there's something there for sure. I think there's something there. And then Mr. Robot, I finished it. I know I brought that up with Jeff last time. Holy shit, is this show amazing, dude. Oh my god!
One of the best shows ever.
And the last episode, Jeff, that
Mhm.
the next, so the last time we talked about it, the next episode that aired was, I'm trying to be sort of vague about it. It's the one where, is it Fernando, the drug
spoil it,
the drug dealer dude, and then there's the therapist.
Yeah, I remember the therapist. I don't remember the drug dealer's name.
Yeah, but I'm saying that episode where he's in there, the therapist is there.
Oh,
Elliot
they're
is
all
there.
three of them are together, and yeah.
Yes, that whole revelation. Oh my, I was not seeing that. I was like, so we're going there. That's where the show's going. Okay. And that wasn't even season 4, I don't think. I think that was towards the end of season 3. So, man, that show, dude. Wow. That honestly, it's right. So I finished it. For me, it's up there with Breaking Bad. I love Dark, that Netflix show Dark.
I still got to finish that, man.
Yeah, well, you should. To be honest, you should start it over because it's something that you have to watch like straight through for it to make as much sense as possible. Because it's incredibly. I think I'm.
Because I got to episode 5. Episode 5 is really critical to the timeline thing and like unlocking that one of the main characters that you're watching is actually the main character and a younger character in a different timeline or whatever. And I was like, there's timeline play here. So,
but it gets completely absurd. Like it's one of those shows that like if you like it and you want to fully understand it, it's gonna take like multiple watches, like all the way front to back.
Yeah,
it gets bonkers.
Also, it's German, so you'll be like,
what? But yeah, no, Mr. Robot. Like if you're into that style of show, like dramas, well-written dramas with a lot of characters that you like kind of care about and you're like, is this character gonna die? I don't know. And like you're into that sort of thing. Like it's a
they
must
Game of Thrones the character at the end of season 3 or something, and I convinced myself that it was like a dream sequence up until like midway through the last season. I was like, oh, so that person really is dead. Like I just well, for some reason I just refused to believe they actually killed that character.
If it's who you're saying, I think it was the big right there in the beginning of season 4, but there was actually a specific reason for it. So if you do a search, like if you search the character of the actor, then you will see why. But yeah, it's absolutely a must watch. Like if you're just into dramas, those type of shows, like it's fantastic.
It's not even like it's a psychological thriller. Like it's nail-biting stuff, dude. I think season 4 there was an episode where none of them talked for like 90 minutes. Yeah,
so it was
the silent heist.
It's when dude, that episode was awesome. It was like almost like Mission Impossible, right?
And they literally said, and that's right when he ran into the drug dealer at the end. They literally said at the beginning of the episode, it's best if we don't talk. And then it's like 50 minutes of them doing the heist.
That
not
episode
saying
was awesome.
Anything. And then at the end, the drug dealer goes, I think we should talk. And like, I'm like, it just broke my brain.
It's a fantastic show. And it's only, I mean, each episode is fairly long. It's between 45 to 55 minutes, but it's only 4 seasons. So it's not like 10 seasons or anything.
Definitely Breaking Bad. Yeah. It's, I mean, a little shorter, obviously, but
absolutely worth a watch. And the last thing, guys, so I did something really bad. And I wanted to share with you guys because I just kind of, to be honest, I feel a little ashamed. I'm a little.
This is not a safe space.
I was about to say jokingly, this feels like a safe space where I can bring this up.
Wow.
I need you guys to kind of console me through this because, like, I don't know. People make mistakes in life, and you just hope that you can sort of recover from those mistakes.
Your parents definitely made mistakes. Yes, go ahead.
Man, really, I'm just trying to set up the joke here, and you're just taking it too far. So this is the mistake, guys. I hope you can forgive me.
Oh,
he bought an Xbox Series S.
He got one of those things.
All right, you need to explain yourself now.
I was wondering why you were asking about Game Pass.
Because
Game Pass
Fab is now extremely disappointed.
Fab is,
but he's not a pony. Come on, guys, he's super not biased.
I was gonna say he's a cartoon character, so that's fine. So my wife has been playing Dead by Daylight on the Switch.
Okay.
Dead by Daylight runs not super great on the Switch, and it doesn't look super great. And down the road, it's like, well, Bethesda is gonna release games only on Xbox, so it's inevitable, right?
Yep.
So I traded in I remembered, I was like, oh, why don't I just trade in the PS4, the extra controllers I have, a couple of games, and like just kind of make up for that. So yeah, I nabbed that. I grabbed 6 months of Game Pass with Live, and
Sweet.
Cool.
and then I'll get I didn't buy I didn't actually set it up yet, so I didn't purchase Dead by Daylight. So then, my wife can just play Dead by Daylight on a better machine. It's gonna run better and look better than it does on the Switch. So
You can play the Ascent. You can play the Ascent with us.
You can play the Ascent.
The Ascent.
God,
I can ascent with you guys.
Yeah.
I can ascend. That's what I
We're
meant
all
to say.
gonna
I can
ascend.
Well, I'm proud of you. I did
Yeah.
expect
Oh,
you to
man.
eventually buy one. I did not
Yeah.
expect.
I thought you were going to be like,
Yeah.
I watched Hamilton again or
This,
something.
I mean, I'd rather kill Jeff. I'd rather kill. No, I'm just kidding. Can't joke about suicide. No, I mean, $300 is a much easier pill to swallow than $500. Down the line, if I want to get the $500, maybe I'll trade this in towards it. Blah blah blah.
That's what
But I figured for now this is a good kind of middle ground. And again, I traded in that
I
stuff.
will say this: since your for you personally main reason is Bethesda games, I think Series X is the way to go. Just because I think the next round of Bethesda games are gonna be pretty legit when it comes to like graphics and stuff like that. I think they're changing things up. They've got a bigger budget with Microsoft. They've got more access to more talent. I think you're gonna eventually.
I can't. But I would imagine that they're not gonna just not have it so it's playable on this. I would think.
No,
It will
right,
scale down. Yeah, they made the Series X and S so interchangeable that someone just moves a slider and then it works on
the
now.
The thing for me, even if it's not exactly one for one, which it probably won't be. Again, it's a good middle ground for now. I'm fine with it. I
think you gotta start checking out some Xbox exclusives like Gears and stuff.
Well, Gears has always been the one that I've kind of been I would like to play Gears. So now I can. So
And with Game Pass, you have access to every single one of them. You have access to every single Halo game.
Yeah,
well, I'm not playing Halo. I'm all set.
You should at least try it, but
Halo's better than Gears. So,
I was doing the gay joke. Isn't that what you do? You do that with games?
It is.
Huh?
It is. It's just a fact. I'm not even giving an opinion. It's just a fact.
Oh, hold on, boys. Kyle, mom and dad have to fight real quick.
Mom and dad. Who's the mom? Who's the mom?
Oh, we all know who the woman is. Well, it's me. I wear the ridiculous.
You mean the one with the beard is the woman? Is that what you're saying?
Got hit on by another guy, by the way. So we're doing great here. All right. So
it doesn't count if it's your boyfriend.
No, it's a new one. This time I was asked if my calves were real. They were asking if they were genetics.
Wow.
He's totally into your calves, bro.
Are those
They
implants?
are. And then
my eyes are up here, bro. That's what you got to say.
And then three other girls were like, "Oh, you asked him about his calves." So I'm like, "You guys are having this circle conversation about my calves. This is amazing." Okay, so for me,
nice
by the way,
brag, by the way.
Yes. There's nothing humble about me.
Yeah, I know.
You and I were supposed to
I'm very
fight.
aware.
We were supposed to fight. Anyways, Gears is better. End of discussion.
It's not. No, we're not ending. No, that's not true.
I agree.
Let's talk about my calves again.
It's a negative.
All right. So moving on, let's talk about some of the stuff I've been playing. Now, as I say every week, I don't get to play a lot, but the little bit I did get to play, I dove into a brand new game for us on the show. Not a brand new game. It came out actually in 2018. It is a Chinese virus video game that was released in 2018 called Gujian 3. So there is two other Gujians, but they were really old. I think the series started in 2012, I think. I did a little bit of research on it, but I forgot. But I remember being like, whoa, it took them a long time to get to 3. But anyways, I gave it a shot because I like to go on Steam and see what's cheap, and then I try to look to see if it looks cool. And so I'll check out other Japanese games. I've actually bought other Japanese games, and one was supposed to be The Witcher 3, and I played it for about 2 hours, and I had to do a refund on it because even though it had some cool aspects, it was a super letdown. But this one, again, not super far into it, about an hour in, is pretty cool. It's legit. And every review I've read, whether if it's a gamer or media's press, praised this game. It totally has a Final Fantasy 15 vibe. It definitely has a Final Fantasy vibe when it comes to music and the setting and the characters. The gameplay is a little bit. It's not like 15. It's more just like an action RPG. Like your sword is super quick, your attacks are very quick.
Like Nier or Devil May Cry, like that kind of game. God of War,
or more like Kingdom Hearts.
I wouldn't say
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's as clean and crisp as those games, but yes, it has that.
But that kind of pace, though. Okay.
Yeah, it's all about quick strikes, getting in, quick strikes, special abilities, and then dodging a lot. Like
you've got dodge roll or something.
Yeah, there's a dodge that you use to get in and out. You can't just sit there and hack and slash. Yes, well, 100%.
Nailed it.
So it's a pretty cool game. It's pretty long, so I doubt I'll finish it. But I did convince Tim to buy it because it was $9 on Steam. He's probably played it more than me, and he's done nothing but praise it. So I'll let him talk about it in the future. But definitely, if you have Steam, I don't know if it's still on sale.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that on sale? I haven't gotten it yet.
I'll actually. I'm already in Steam, so I'll check.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I think it was saying the 31st, so today would be the last day.
Yeah.
Or maybe the 30th. I could be wrong, but.
Okay, why are you not showing?
I think it's only normally 30 though. So if it's actually pretty excellent, 30 is not that bad. So.
Yeah, but you definitely, if you can buy it now.
$9. Yeah.
Maybe I spelt the game wrong. I thought it was GUI.
So, I totally get now when women say, they made a mistake, getting knocked up, kind of like, getting, no? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see what joke you're trying to do.
I was trying to say, like, when a woman gets knocked up, has a baby, and says that the baby's a mistake. I was trying to compare that to this, so.
Oh, don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
It's actually $29.99 now. You missed out on the sale. You are a piece of trash.
Is it on Game Pass?
Is it on Game Pass? When it comes out on Steam
It
Deck,
is on
sale
Game
again.
Pass on PC.
Okay.
All right, so it's decent is all I'm saying. It's definitely worth checking out. It'll be on sale again. Daniel, you don't have a PC that can handle it. It's not not the highest end type game, but you do have to at least have a decent system. So just wait for it to go on sale again and then buy it. The other thing is I played a little more Death's Door. I think the game's rad. I don't think it's one I'll stick to because I think I've kind of made a decision to focus on one game. I still need to finish Mass Effect 2, which I slowly keep, I'll play a little bit and then get out. But the main one I'm trying to finish because I haven't beat this game, whereas Mass Effect 2 I've beat like 5 times, is Judgment. That's the main one that I want to get through because I think Lost Judgment looks great. I already thought Judgment was fun when I played it on the PS4 Pro. I played, I think, about 4 hours. And I enjoyed it, but as I normally do with Yakuza games, except for one, I think I beat Yakuza 3 like forever ago on the PS3. I always start Yakuza games, like them, but I'm like, nope, I'm not committed to the series. This one, now that I know there's a sequel, I'm kind of like, well, this means I would be able to start with the first one, and then I could actually be locked into the series. So I'm very interested in that.
Oh. So, that's if the series continues, but
yeah,
it will. Judgment, I think.
Sadly,
there's that whole thing with the actor and the likeness and them having beef with Sega right now.
The second one may be the last one.
Why? What happened? Give me some insight.
Oh well, the too long didn't read version is like this company that oversees the likeness of the actors didn't agree for the game to be released on PC, so they're like pulling pretty much all of like their actors like out of the project, and all of those actors like in Judgment are all, their face and their likeness and their voices are all from real people. And
so they have to work something out.
They'll have to either work something out or some, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do to fix it, but it's all in limbo right now. The game's gonna release, but there may not be a third one.
Well, unless it ends on a cliffhanger that really sucks.
I will say the first game doesn't end on it. Like I feel like each game's like contains stories. I'll also say you picked really wisely here, Derek, because this is one of the best out of all the Yakuza games. This is like probably my favorite story out of all of them.
The one I continued playing for hours.
Yeah, I think that
why
like,
I want to do it.
The story gets really good, and like it feels like a really awesome detective movie, you know, where this like
you nailed it right there. That's what I want.
Yeah, and like it just unfolds like a really cool like mystery. I mean, it's awesome, and I think the second game is gonna be just phenomenal.
So that's the goal. I figure I have until I think I looked at release windows. And I looked at the next game I care about is August 20th, I believe, and that's Ghost of Tsushima coming out on the PS5 with the expansion. So that's the next one that I could see sidetracking me. So I legit have 3 weeks to get through Judgment, which I don't think is a very short game, but I also don't think it's the longest game in the world.
It's like 40 hours.
Yeah. So 3 weeks. Old Derek would have nailed this in 2 weeks, but new Derek, it's going to take 3 years. So hopefully I can do it. But that is the one I'm trying to stick to. Like I know how I am. I get distracted. I'm hoping I won't get distracted on that one.
Well, you're also been pretty busy lately, so.
Yeah, I have. So, but I'm really excited about jumping into that because Lost Judgment looks like, I remember when I saw the first trailer, it came out, I want to say 3 months ago, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, dude, I need to get back into Judgment. So I bought Judgment on Xbox Series X when it was on sale. I think it was 30 or whatever.
How does it look? Like, do you remember what it looked like on PS4 Pro compared to what it's looking like on Series X?
I even did the Digital Foundry video, which basically, I think it was Digital Foundry that did it. Maybe it was another outlet, but they were basically like, this upgrade's kind of pointless. Like it's native 4K at 60 frames per second, whereas I think the PS4 Pro was close to native 4K, or it was native 4K at 30 frames. So you're just jumping from 30 to 60, which is cool. Sure. But this isn't a shooter, so it's not like you really need that. No. And visually, they didn't like go back. You know how with Mass Effect, and granted, I understand Mass Effect's an older game, but they went back and they redid stuff. Yeah. This game, they didn't redo anything. They just up-res the res, and then they pushed it from 30 to 60. Is it worth owning if you're gonna play it again? And you can get it for $10 or $15, which it's totally going to be $10 or $15, probably right before the launch.
It was on sale for like $20 just like a week ago, I think.
Yeah, it'll definitely drop
on PS5.
Yeah, so it'll keep dropping. Yes, it's worth buying if you're either going to replay it or never played it again, or have never played it. But if you've already played it and you have zero interest, but you're like, I just want the best version, I want to own the best version, it's not really an upgrade. If you have the PS4 Pro, you're good. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me on now playing Death's Door. Does anybody have any additional thoughts on Death's Door? Has anybody played any more of it?
Haven't touched it since
I'm gonna get to play it on Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out at some point, but I haven't.
It's definitely worth checking out. It's a fun game. My opinion has not changed since the last time we talked, where I was super excited about it. I am excited about it. It is a fun game. I love the music. I love the atmosphere. The combat's really good. I think just for me personally, it got a little frustrating because I was dying a lot, and I was like, I don't have time. Like, I don't have time to die. Like, I need to be playing games.
I don't have time to die.
I don't have time to die.
James
I have
Bond
to play
over
games.
No time to
die. Got time to bleed.
I have to play games where I feel like I'm moving forward because I don't have time. So, if that makes sense.
No,
and then games that we've all played, or most of us played. Let's hit Tribes of Midgard. Is that the only one? Oh, we got the Ascent too.
The Ascent, yeah.
Let's do the Ascent.
Okay.
Did anybody play it co-op?
No.
Didn't have a chance to, no.
Didn't have a chance to play
but
co-op,
solo still felt really fun to play.
All
right,
so I got to commend the game for that.
How far did you guys get into the Ascent?
Oh, maybe like an hour, maybe an hour plus. You know, I really took my time in that first area, but I beat the first boss and got to the town and went to the shopping area, like when you're like topside or whatever.
How do you feel about the combat?
I like the combat a lot. I love the idea of taking something simple like a twin stick shooter and going, and also giant sprawling RPG with choices. Okay, yeah.
I didn't expect that at all. That's what I was not expecting.
It's super cool, and I think it's. I was diving into the lore and the codec and stuff like that. Very very detailed. A lot of stuff going on in this world.
It's the cyberpunk game that we deserve.
Hey, first off, how dare
I
you?
loved
No, that's what people are saying jokingly.
That's what people are saying. No, and not jokingly also. Yeah.
Well,
so,
sure. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it is a very, very good cyberpunk game, and it works. So that's a major plus for it as well. There's not a lot of fighting with it, crashing or anything like that, or things glitching and stuff. I think the game looks really good. I'm playing it on the Series S.
All of us here are smart enough to know, and I just want to point it out. I know it's like a joke or whatever, but I hate when people are like, well, this one works and Cyberpunk didn't. Yeah, because they're totally the same. Like, the scope is totally the same. Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't have 50 billion different systems and a huge open world. Totally the same. You got it. And I know that all of us understand that. I just really hate gamers. Like, they're really ignorant. Stupid.
Oh, the people in the Ascent don't T-pose when I shoot them, so... better. Hashtag it's better. No, I'm really enjoying. It sounds like I didn't get too far. Like I was looking.
You and I ended at the same spot then.
Yeah,
that's where I ended. I went to the shop, talked to somebody.
Yeah,
and then a whole bunch of other missions opened up. Where it's
I think I spent a lot of my time
map, you have
reading
like 4 other
the codec and stuff, which is where a lot of my time ended up sinking into. And I was just kind of bumbling around in those sewers for a while, just kind of like getting used to the shooting.
This is why we brought Kyle onto the show, because he reads everything, so he can explain stuff to me, because I refuse to read.
Yeah,
right. Literally the only reason why we brought you on. I told him.
Good. Yeah, my dyslexic ass and reading, it's fun.
The shooting, I
do not know how you do it. I can't do it.
It took me a minute to get acclimated to the right stick doing the aiming. It's one of those games, one of those types of shooters, like Helldivers or whatever.
Right?
It is isometric, yeah.
Yeah. So
sometimes the camera will kind of like pan a little bit, but like
I definitely had to like adjust mentally. I kept running away and then aiming back and then running away and aiming, and I was like, eventually I got used to. So
and then you can aim. You can aim up and aim down.
Aim up
too
on
different
on
different planes.
That's kind of my problem. And again, this goes back to what I just said. I don't have time to play games that I die. I booted up the Ascent and
I died right away.
Literally ran in the first area where 3 little thingies are chasing me. I'm like running away from them, like, how do I fucking shoot you? I can't shoot you because if I stop to shoot you, you kill me. So I was getting angry and I was like, I'm done with this game.
Old angry
but I'd
lady.
like to know yeah, pretty much.
You get used to it though. You get used to how to aim.
Yeah.
How do you kill those first 3 enemies that are chasing you?
What
the hell do you do?
I don't remember there being. I haven't died at all.
Those three.
I haven't died.
I don't feel this way about.
I'm totally fine with you taking a back slap hand at me, like, hey, you noob game.
I don't know what 3 guys you're talking. I don't know. I don't.
It's literally.
I don't know.
You walk
everything in this game. That's what you do.
You hack that first door. You hack the very first door. And you walk through it, and that's the first time you see enemies. And I saw 3 enemies. I started shooting at the first one, which I'm having the issue, like Jeff said, where I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And all 3 of them just swarmed me and ate me or whatever they were doing, and I died. And I was like, okay, that's annoying.
So there is a dodge button, so you'll want to dodge through them because there's an iframe and stuff like that. And also hold down the shoot button. Don't like click it, like hold it down, like your guy will rapid
totally
fire.
Clicking.
And those are my
with the single
like
shot.
Contra.
Yeah,
you gotta
once you get an auto weapon, by the way, once you get an automatic, it becomes way freaking easier.
Oh, you get a submachine gun in that game, and it feels so good.
Like, oh, dude, it does. I'm like, yeah, come at me. I suddenly turn into Rambo. In this game,
shooting things do feel good. Like the character models, like react properly to you shooting them. Like like there's some good physics.
Did you unlock the psychic push as well? Because that's what I.
I didn't dive into any of that stuff. I didn't. Skills or anything like that, but that's the very first thing I'm gonna do when I boot it up next is kind of start diving into because I guess you get like abilities that you can
you get augmentations and
on top of everything, and there's hacking and stuff like that. Yeah. And what's cool about this cyberpunk world is there's aliens. Like it's not like, oh, we're just humans and we're still on Earth. It's like that's the most boring sci-fi. It's like all these years later we're still on Earth and like and we're still just like we're still pissing each other off and corporations and everything. Like no, there's aliens and like it's a whole fleshed out universe. Tons of lore, guys. Like if you're not gonna read like the codexes, watch a video or something because like it's worth diving into. I was just like, man, whoever wrote this stuff is very. It's very. He's read a lot of sci-fi cyberpunk novels, that's for sure.
I can tell that they gave a crap about the world stuff when I glanced at the codex. Yeah.
All right, so everybody's vibing on this game. We like this game.
Yeah,
we like that
it impressed
store.
me. I didn't expect it to be as good as it is, honestly.
I'm pretty excited to try it because I saw it like I had not even heard of the game, and then I saw some visuals of it. I was like, this looks really nice, like a really nice, sharp, like Diablo, but like cyberpunk style kind of game. Like,
there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of times where you're just like reading text and having conversations with people and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's big hubs. That when you get to that shopping area, I'm like, how
that shopping area is wonderful. It's one of
so
my favorite
massive.
like towns like from this year. Like it just.
So this sounds way more in depth than I honestly thought it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
It's a giant RPG, and like just click through those menus. Like there's a lot of gear stuff going on, and like Jeff was saying, like the attributes and abilities and stuff like that. It's a pretty
menu.
It's a pretty deep game. Yeah.
I'm not gonna play it, but here's why. Not because you guys didn't sell me on it. I gotta focus on judgment.
You gotta focus on judgment. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
not judging
you.
Get it?
All right.
He's got to make a judgment call and not play
Oh my
Ascent.
God.
Here we go.
I am ending this show right now. This is like dad dumb jokes, which is like like no time we got to something I like.
Hey man, don't judge us so harshly.
Oh my God.
I won't be judge, jury, or executioner on this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay.
Derek's
lost my calves.
Derek's lost in our bullshit, and he's gonna start judging us right now.
I judge y'all every day. All right, Tribes of Midgard.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Now we did play this co-op. Daniel Freitas was left out because, well, he's a little bitch. But Kyle,
but
I should be keeping like a ticker of how many profanities that you've dropped. Like,
they're all directed at you. So.
Yeah,
they
thanks.
are. That's true.
Thanks. I feel very grateful.
Does that make it better? I don't.
It's all right. I just absorbed them into my flesh.
Means I'm like a clean Christian when I'm talking to you guys, but as soon as I have to address him, the devil inside me comes out and is like, no, tell me the little bitch. Tell me the little bitch.
Dan, if it helps, we all, when we were playing it, we were all kind of like, I think Dan would like this game, and it's $20 for what it does. It's worth the money.
It looks the coolest co-op games I've played in a while. Yeah.
This is a trash game because Daniel would like it.
That's what I said. There you go.
All right, so Tribes of Midgard. I did play it. I did play it with you guys. My honest thoughts on it is I did like it. Like combat wise, I like that it's got a lot of Diablo to it.
Yes.
But
no
it is
matching.
a lot of survivor aspects. Which I'm not generally into. I'm not into those games. I'm not into going and finding a bunch of like stone and wood and all that stuff. Yeah, but I found this, and maybe it's just because I haven't played enough, survivor type games. This one to be pretty simple. We did have Tim. We did have Tim. Dad had done obvious research because he was like, go over here, do this. And so we at least had that.
Tim
he was leading our
that
charge with the strategy and our second playthrough.
Like every time, because I haven't actually played Valheim with Tim in a while, but like every time I log in, like Tim has completely altered everything. Like it's just nonsense. Like
Dan,
everything that he's done. Like, he's just
Can I just say this? The reason why
for you what to do
is because Tim has no control in his personal life. He is controlled.
All right.
So in video
he has 37 kids, so
he does. So in video games, he likes to try to control us and manipulate. And this podcast, Tim, we know what you're doing, and we don't appreciate it. But overall, the experience was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Is it something I'd play solo? Absolutely not.
I don't even think I would play solo.
Is it something if you guys messaged and said, hey, we'd like to game together, let's just make fun of each other and have some fun? Yes, it's worth playing. I personally would rather learn how to play the Ascent and play with you guys in the Ascent than Tribes of Midgard, but that's because the Ascent seems more like my style of game, because I prefer shooters over melee. Melee type games.
I get that, and I normally feel that way too, but something about Tribes makes me want to go back to it and go, no, I know we can fortify this base and do better.
Yeah, like, we made it one more night, and strangely, the second Derek got off, we all started playing way better too, so...
that is not
what you want about that, I guess.
Tim, Jeff, and I, we were really
I fortified.
The second, Derek got off, the whole vibe changed.
Yeah. So as far as
the thing is that it's a trial by fire game. So by the time that the four of us had gotten through a couple games. That third game, we just had 2 games worth of knowledge going forward. So it's just, I feel like every failure in that game is a teachable lesson. You know, the game after you got off, Derek, you know, Jeff and Tim had figured out how to like fortify gates and build gates and stuff like that, and like. It's just like we were just if you had stayed on one more game, like man, like we were really willing and dealing that game. And
does everything stay there? Like, is it just like you die but then you go back? So is it like Don't Starve? So a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like Don't Starve, where you're on a run. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you know, and like when that run's over, you start over again. But there are things that you keep, kinda. So the better that you do,
you keep your weapons, right?
Kinda, yeah. Like you can either start with weapons or you can start with tools. You know, you can't start with both. So
you unlock starter kits each playthrough.
Yeah, so you'll unlock
depending on how good you do.
So you have an in-game level up meter. So like your character is leveling up in-game, but like when you die, it'll revert. But you also have a profile level up, and like so as you play more and more and more, your profile level will go up, and like you unlock stuff that way. And I think that's kind of like a Fortnite like game pass. What are those things called? Those like monthly season passes or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like that's what it is. So like as you're leveling up, you see the things that you're gonna unlock on the bot. It's just like Fortnite. It's just like any Call of Duty, Warzone, or anything like that. Yeah.
For me though, it's like I like when you're playing the game in the moment, it's like it's fun, but it's kind of a bummer to not have things kind of feel like you're working towards something, and then like it's sort of sticking, like the whole dying and then like rinse and repeat sort of thing can be like kind of like I mean, we did so much work and now we died, so now we're back to the beginning. It's like I feel like you kind of have to be in the mood for that.
You just have to, on the next playthrough, it makes it more interesting because you know, okay, maybe we should prioritize something different.
And it's not like you're building a whole fortress every single time. Like the fortress is there already. You're just kind of fortifying specific parts of it and stuff like that. And you can run off and like rebuild farms, and apparently if you do that, like those have lasting cross game.
You can unlock portals that you find, so that way you can fast travel to those instead of always having to fast travel to base and spend your fast travel.
And there's a lot of like really cool things where it's like when those Jotuns, Jotuns, whenever like those big like titans start coming, like the idea is like you venture off to go find it, because like if it's at your base, if you wait for it to get to your base, like it's over. So like you have to kind of go meet it in the field and fight it, and then retreat, and then it's a really cool kind of give and take, risk reward type gameplay loop. I think we got to 4 or 5 days. That was like the furthest we had gotten. And that was intense. I mean, we were already going through a blood moon. I think the blood moon killed us, right?
Yeah, no, the Jotun got there like a
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, no, he showed up and murdered us.
It was the witch woman or whatever. And I think Tim ended up doing a solo round after that, and he said he beat the Jotun, and then after that, I think he died because the blood moon spawns tougher opponents. Yeah. And it spawned like a much bigger, it spawned the one that broke down easily the fortification on the gate. Wow. Easily broke it down and came in and just took the tree down. It was like some fat wizard or whatever.
There's a lot going on. Like you can level up townspeople and shopkeepers and stuff like that, and like they help you, like fend off waves and stuff like that.
They do. They're not. They're not,
it's all about like where do I put my materials and resources into what upgrades, and and like there's obviously a right answer to that, and like trying to figure that out has been kind of fun. It's,
I think Tim has played the most out of all of us, but I don't know if he played again after our night playing it together. I know he played another round after we logged off.
Yeah, he said he got far that round too. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He said he beat the Jotun.
He killed the Jotun. Yeah.
I don't know how you do that solo because it has.
It scales.
An insane
it scales.
Yeah.
So like it's a little easier, but I'm sure it's still took a couple trips.
It's just like fighting. He does better at Sea of Thieves when we're not around. So at least when I'm not.
By the way, playing Sea of Thieves with Tim is the greatest because he knows exactly what to do, and like I'm just a passenger in like Tim's story.
He just adds the whole thing.
Which is great because like Sea of Thieves is fun, but I don't want to figure out anything in that game. I just want to drive a ship and like swashbuckle. He's like figuring out all the puzzles and stuff like that. Right. I was like, God, Tim's like a fucking just MLG over here, and I'm just coattail riding all the way to the credits.
He's a wiki guide for trash games, is essentially what Tim is. So
sure.
How dare you?
So
all right, Dan, hey, that means you can play Sea of Thieves with us now with your Xbox.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Just in time for the Jack Sparrow crap.
Just in time for the Jack Sparrow crap.
Speaking of trash games, Derek, how about that update to Greedfall, huh? Is that soon or yeah?
Greedfall? That came out last month, bro.
Sorry, I missed it. My bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about the update that's coming up to Outer Wilds?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds, my favorite game from last year.
Kyle said, I absolutely loved Outer
Worlds is so
the
good,
actual
Jeff. I'm so
good
glad.
Hey guys, Outer Wilds.
No, we're
Outer
not
Wilds.
We are not talking Outer Wilds.
You know, the giant sprawling RPG. And
I'm gonna actually skip our main topic. I'm gonna save it for last. I'm gonna go through the headlines real quick. If anybody has any opinions, obviously that's the point. But I find that a lot of the stuff that Annapurna Interactive Showcase, like, just get that the freak out of here.
No, hold on. Stray looks really interesting. I think Stray
looks good.
Yeah.
But
that was about it, I think.
Solar Ash has a release date now, October 26th, which is the Hyper Light Drifter guys.
Annapurna looks really cool, and I like your little robot companion that eventually joins you, and eventually the little critters that you do like basically run away from what seems like most of the game, but eventually you can actually combat them with sort of like a UV light type of projectile or ray or something.
On paper, if you told me there was a cat open world whatever game, I'd be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But seeing gameplay, I'm like, okay, I'm fully on board for this cat game.
I would be on board immediately. Cat, post-apocalyptic robot people, like.
All right, I am definitely judging you guys. All right, so Annapurna Interactive Showcase, waste of time. Thanks for giving.
Let me mention the one. Come on, man, this is a good one.
Go ahead, bro.
Dan.
There's there's a game called Artful Escape, and it's a musical game, whatever.
Yeah.
But the cast is insane. Lena Headey is a voice in it. Jason Schwartzman, Mark Strong,
like the porn star,
Carl Weathers.
It's Cersei Lannister.
Yeah, Cersei.
Freaking pervert.
Sure.
I'm sure you can find a Lena Headey.
Well, shame. Anyway, it comes to Game Pass on September 9th, and I'm going to play that one.
What's it called?
Artful Escape.
Artful Escape, okay.
Yeah,
I don't even know what kind of game it is, though. I mean,
it sounds exactly like Derek's cup of tea, is what it sounds
like.
No, that's a trash indie game. Don't play it.
All of these were, and you're like,
no, they weren't.
Excited.
All right, so Stray looks.
You were such a.
Let's get to the best headline that I don't care about. Tensions rise as employees at Activision Blizzard hold a walkout this past Wednesday in protest of widespread harassment allegations across the company. No. Activision Blizzard has extended paid time off to all. Oh, thank you, Activision Blizzard. You're so sweet. Time off to all employees planning to attend the walkout.
God bless Bobby.
Everyone knows here that Activision Blizzard's the good guys.
I can bet money that when the CEO is like, "Let's just pay them," they're like, "All right, so we're good, right? You guys."
Although I just wanna,
we fixed it, right?
I just want to point out the one allegation or accusation, whatever. The one about the chick that she killed herself. Like that's
awful.
That's freaking terrible, dude.
They were sharing pictures of her like genitals or something.
at a party to like all the
Kyle was sharing the most information with me about like the Cosby Suite.
The Cosby Suite stuff is insane. Like the stories I'm hearing out of this, like just burn that whole company to the ground.
Right, like, dude. Seriously, for years,
so crazy to me.
For years, I've been saying they're so evil, and now it's like this, like the inside stuff coming up, and it's like totally makes sense. All my negative feelings toward them are just totally makes sense now.
I think it's sad. I think it's sad that people make terrible choices like this and then terrible things happen. I wish everybody ran things accordingly. I don't know the ins and outs of the leadership of Activision, if they're really to blame or if this is just like I'm not going to name the name, but I worked at big companies, and no matter what protocols you have in place from a leadership standpoint, harassment, sexual harassment, sex with colleagues, nudes, all that happens everywhere. So I don't know if it's a burn the company to the ground, but it does. I mean,
it does, but it just
and then you report to HR, and if they don't respond, you sue them. That's what you're supposed to do.
They're
doing what they're supposed to do.
That's where I would agree, like where you would have the issue. Like if things were brought to the light to HR or something like that, and there was a sweep it under the rug, or
there was,
this isn't a big
their
day.
HR would be like, well, maybe you are the problem. Like when they would, like the HR wouldn't handle anything. I mean, that's why they're being sued.
HR is not there for the people. It's for the company.
Well,
right?
but HR classically in most companies is useless.
Exactly.
Usually that is what they do, is brush stuff under the rug, or because like if you taking care of a problem now costs money, but if we can just keep on pushing that off, we're not spending money on fixing any problems or anything like that,
I mean,
that's a philosophy that's shared in all industries across all things or whatever.
True.
But hearing specific stories out of this one, like there's some truly horror stories coming out of this particular company, and I'm sure
really
that this stuff happens in other companies or whatever.
Yeah,
they're not on trial. This one literally is right now. So yeah, it sucks to hear all this. Yeah, at this point, the justice system is gonna run its course.
I was when I was talk to Kyle about it, I would say leadership. It just needs to be a big overhaul in leadership, and I think that'll be fine.
You got to get.
I don't think the company's going to die out of this.
No. Call of Duty is they're
a
huge money making thing, and California makes money off of the company being there as well. So it's like
didn't they do that? Careful. Didn't they send like a letter or something with that kind of like almost like implying like, hey, it would kind of suck if we left California, huh? It's like. Mm-hmm. Really, guys? That's something along the lines of that. But kind of like wink, wink, like, hey, it would kind of suck if we left, right? It's really, that's how you want to respond to this? That's what you want to, okay.
Well, and here's the thing is that, like, this is the biggest, nothing like this has ever happened in this particular industry, in the gaming industry. So there's not a lot of rules and regulations of how to kind of proceed forward, because
Ubisoft recently got hit pretty
they did, but like the state didn't come after them,
Sure.
So
they're also
a different country,
French based.
Different country, exactly. Yeah, so it's just like there's not a lot of regulations right now, and the thing is that it's kind of on California to maybe like make an example out of them, so other things don't happen like this. So that's kind of what I'm hearing, is that like they're probably going to come at them pretty hard. But Activision's not going anywhere, no. You're gonna get your damn Call of Duty at the end of the year, maybe. Right now, I don't think any games are being worked on. I think everybody's, like you're saying, on vacation or something like that.
What did we learn from this? Try not to hook up with your coworkers, which, by the way, I'm pretty terrible at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Derek.
I'm currently working on a coworker right now, so
wow.
I'm not gonna take my own advice.
The state of California is on their way to talk to you.
Yeah. I don't even live there.
Gonna get a call.
Care though. We get too bad. We still care.
But seriously, it's very terrible.
It's awful, yeah. And if y'all want to know more about what the stories and stuff like that, it's all over the internet, guys. Like Vice is covering it, Inside Games is covering it with Bruce Green and Lawrence Sontag.
Which I have no problem saying I am ignorant to the story, because I do stay away from games journalism, because you guys know how I feel. I think it's trash. But I do have to say, from what you guys have shared, as somebody who's normally like, my God, everybody's dramatic, blah, blah, blah. This does sound terrible.
Well, when people were up in arms about crunch last year, don't care about crunch. There's crunch everywhere. So when people try and talk to me about crunch,
I spent the last 2 weeks working from morning to 10 p.m. And taking breaks for food and maybe a movie or something. I mean, literally every job has that. But if they pay you handsomely for it, I mean, that's like a salary paid for. At the level that I do.
And a lot of people who are in the industry are in there because they love games. So it's like you're already doing something.
Whiner's gonna whine. So I agree with you guys on this.
This is different. These are real problems that need to be addressed, and it's from a very it's rampant across everywhere. And I think that
not just because a girl died. Sex is a serious thing that we don't take serious, and when you've got people passing around pictures of somebody or just sleeping around in general.
Cubicle crawls.
The cubicle crawls,
it's very destructive to a person's psyche. Like, we always talk about mental health, but we never connect the dots of why so many people. I'm not going to get on my soapbox. I'm going to get on my soapbox. But there's a reason why a lot of people struggle with mental health, and it's because we make bad choices. We do stupid stuff because we don't connect the dots. And in this situation, you can see it right here. This girl was dealing with mental health issues because of this type of behavior.
Healthy people don't kill themselves,
Yes. So I really wish people would start paying attention to these type of decisions make a big impact on your life. Moving on to the next subject. This one we don't need to talk about
This
a
one's
lot.
just hilarious, I think.
Honestly, it wasn't hilarious because I have an RTX 3090.
All right,
and
hilarious.
I had the desire to play New World, Amazon's New World MMO.
I was intrigued by this game. Yeah, I was intrigued by this game. Yeah, so that's a bummer.
They've patched it, but
let me read the article or the headline. Amazon's New World MMO melts video cards. Testers on the game's closed beta reported last week that running New World can brick high-end video cards like GeForce's RTX 3090. As far as I know, it's actually only the 3090, which is what I have. That's a big deal because the 3090 is it's a $1,500 to $2,000 graphics card, depending on who you bought it from. This issue appears to have been now patched, which is good, but still, the fact that it happened. I mean,
and
something right now,
something so dumb.
GeForce Nvidia is not gonna
pony up,
do a damn thing.
How about that
Amazon
masturbatory race? How does that feel?
That is not very master race.
Jeff Bezos is not going to reach into his pocket and
refund. Bezos. He's in space. He doesn't give a crap.
I will say this about Amazon.
Like, someone should be paying for these $2,000 graphics cards.
Oh, Amazon, I can almost guarantee is going to do it, and here's why.
It better.
Amazon is Amazon for two main reasons. One, obviously, they figured out fast access to getting you stuff without you having to do anything except push buttons. But the other thing is they're very customer friendly as far as I want a refund, done, and it's immediate. So they don't literally fight you on stuff.
I was expecting you to say that they undercut the competition because they do that very heavily. That's
that as well.
But that's how you get the wins, man. That's how you get the wins. Yeah.
That's how you get the space, baby.
Next headline: Avengers: Black Panther: War of Wakanda DLC release date announced August 17th. That is my birthday, folks. That's what we
happy birthday, Derek. Look at this.
I actually meant to note it as Derek's birthday is August 17th, but the Black Panther thing came first.
You didn't know. Well, because you put black people before me. That's really. But I just want to say this is another game that I actually wanted to beat the campaign and that I never will. And so I will probably never play this DLC because I will always feel like I have to beat the campaign before I play it.
I know that Kyle and I will definitely play this expansion, beat it, because not the Hawkeye one. The Hawkeye one was way too short. That was like 2 hours. But the Kate Bishop one was like 4 hours, and I was like, this is great. And she felt great to play as.
I would play through the campaign if I had somebody to play with. Every time I started up, and I have two playthroughs. I have one on PC and one on Xbox, and I got to basically the same spot on both playthroughs. And I think I just got bored with the gameplay, and I was just like, I want to play with people. And
a lot of that you still have to play solo. So
the single player campaign
there'd still be a lot of like lonely mission grinding in that game. The story's good in that game. I'll say that.
It is.
Well written.
Maybe one day, but we're going to focus on Judgment, and I don't want to even talk about Avengers. So you guys are excited. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play it. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm...
I hope Black Panther plays well and that the environments are interesting and not just another snowy place.
Is this paid DLC or
everything is free with this game. The only thing that you pay for in this game is cosmetics.
Okay, well, that's awesome. We don't.
Yeah, it's a good model. I don't know. It's a floundering game.
The grind is also impossible to get those cosmetics. Through grinding.
Well,
it's almost impossible.
You have to pay money.
That's the scaling with this game. It's a grindy game, and it should have been more about the adventure and the characters and the story than anything else.
Well, and the game wants you to be playing as like everybody. Like you should have everybody in rotation, but like you have to really just pick one and grind them to top level. Yeah. And that's super hard. And like again, the game kind of because like you can't have two of the same characters. So if like we all play Captain America and like we're all top level Captain America, one of us are playing somebody else who isn't your top guy, and it's like and to get to those like later like end game levels, like it's a grind, man. Like that game is way too grindy for its own good.
Totally
it's crazy.
not selling me on that game, so I will
I'm not.
never.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell this game to anybody.
All right.
To anybody.
Let's move on to the next one. Now, I don't know if anybody has anything on this because I'm the Microsoft guy, and I did not play anything with Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and I have not watched anything on Halo Infinite.
I wrote this down knowing I wasn't going to watch any of these freaking videos because it's so long. But I wrote it down just to let people know that it's out there. The Halo Infinite tech preview is rolling out as we speak, I guess.
It's
mostly multiplayer focused.
Personally, I'm excited for the game, but
I'm already excited
for campaign only.
And apparently there's more than one campaign or something. I read that somewhere.
I heard
there's a leak picture that says campaigns with an S.
Yeah, meaning like they're gonna release like a bunch of like different style campaigns in this open kind of world game.
Interesting.
It sounds like they're trying to do something different. If they're not,
well, we'll see. I get a little worried about that because I just kind of really want a cohesive co-op Halo game. I don't want like these vignette story. But we'll see. I don't even know if that's what it is. But
okay, and that I will go off that. I am okay if you're gonna release one campaign at launch that's like your typical Halo co-op story-driven campaign. Even can throw in some loot if you want to do that and upgrades. Cool, as long as you're not making it grindy like Avengers or something like that.
Right.
And then if you want to add on new episodes or whatever to add on to the campaign, like DLC, but it's separate campaigns, cool, and set up in that same universe. But I don't want it to feel like, I'll give an example, Battlefield 5. Where the main campaign is like 4 or 5 different stories, and they're like short stories, and that's stupid to me. Like I want one cohesive story that flows from beginning, middle to end, and I don't want.
I like those water cooler moments where like everyone gets to a level like the library or something like that, and we all talk about that for like, oh man, did you get to the library? Did you get to that level? Did you get to the thing where you get to fly the ghost? You know, like like that's the stuff that I like.
Kyle loves hanging out by the cooler, huh?
I love that water cooler.
You just love that cooler.
I love that water cooler, dude.
Sometimes I'll be the only one hanging around there waiting for people.
I'll just wait. I'll wait there.
Probably there standing there by yourself. Probably standing there by yourself trying to talk about Green Knight. Nobody cares about it.
Because like there's whenever something is so well designed or so well directed or so well written, like everyone comes out of those situations with like the same opinion. You're like, did you see that thing? Did you remember that thing? Yeah. And I feel like Halo has those moments where, and I'm not a huge Halo fan. I think Halo is pretty overrated, but like I play all of them. I think they're fun and I think they're very well designed games. But there's always 1 or 2 levels, like where you walk into that vista for the first time and you're like, holy shit, like there is a lot going on in this area. That's a jaw-dropping moment that everyone comes out of those levels thinking the same thing. Like, wow, that's super.
I think early Halo games were top tier first-person shooter story-driven campaigns that were not common and they were amazing.
Yeah,
I do feel like and this is coming from a guy, if you ask me, what's your favorite Halo games? It's Halo 4 and 5. So it's the most recent ones that are actually my favorite.
I like 4 and 5 a lot, yeah.
But that being said, if you compare 4 and 5 to other first-person shooter, like story-driven games, I don't think it does anything spectacular. I don't think they're elite or top of the line is the only thing I would say. I'm hoping they're doing something fresh and new.
Same.
And I think they are, because I think they are trying to make kind of an open world with side quests and all.
Yeah,
I think they are doing something.
I think it's going to be one of those things where it's like an open hub world, and then you go to some place on the map, and there is a level. You know what I mean? Like a level. Like you walk through a threshold or a door, and all of a sudden, like you're doing something outside of the open world. I could be wrong.
I think it's going to be a lot like the first Halo, where you were dropped on a planet, and there was openness to that planet. I think this is going to be more open, because if you watch the very first showing of Halo Infinite, the one that everybody trashed, that I was actually excited about, if you look at it, it looks like a really nice version of Halo 1, and everything that they were talking about, like what the game's going to be like, they were basically saying, hey, we're making Halo 1 again, we're just not calling it Halo 1, we're calling it Halo Infinite. So I'm excited for it, but again, I have not watched anything on multiplayer, because I'll check it out, but I don't really care.
That's not the priority for me. Yeah.
Nope.
I think I like the multiplayer in those games, but co-op is where it's at for the. I just love just either split screen or just online. Just like, hey, let's plow through that real quick. I think I that's my favorite part. But I think the multiplayer is a lot of fun. And I'm actually good at the multiplayer in that game, which I just suck at most multiplayer.
It's come from decades of practice.
Yeah.
From what I understand,
my friends who've been playing the beta, like they're like it's Halo. Like they didn't change much, and I'm like, good. Like that's what I want. I don't want it to be a battle royale, or I don't want it to be a whatever. Like I just want it to be Halo. So whatever. Right. I'm excited for it.
Sounds good. All right, I am excited for it. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed anymore, and we get it in late 2021. Nintendo. I don't know. Do you guys care about this? New Pokemon Snap is getting 3 new areas and 20 new Pokemon and a free update releasing August 3rd. Do you guys care?
My wife is excited.
All right. Well, she's not on the podcast, bro.
My wife.
Okay. Moving on. This is more exciting. Sony has sold 10 million PS5s. PS5 is the fastest selling PlayStation.
Half of those to scalpers.
Yeah, they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
Doesn't matter. They got your money.
Yeah.
Bro, I got 2 of them, and I didn't buy them from scalpers, so you just got to be good.
Get good.
I guess that's exciting. I'm not a fanboy. I know people think I'm an Xbot, but that's just because I like to piss off ponies. I don't give a crap
They're so
about
easy to piss off, though. So
yeah.
I mean, every fanboy is, right? I mean,
yeah, every fanboy is. Yeah.
But I have found in my online interactions that DC fanboys are the easiest to piss off, and then next is Sony ponies.
Yeah.
That's been my experience so far.
I will say though, as somebody who was in, now I'm forgetting the group, the Xbox IGN Xbox Unlocked, longer than I was in Beyond. That the Xbox fanboys can be a little sense of butts too, and they get really annoying about stuff. Like I'm an Xbot, like I enjoy Xbox, and I would say something that I would say is middle of the ground. It wasn't like fanboyish, and it wasn't like pro pony crap. To not even try to get a reaction, and I would still get a reaction. I'm like, you guys are
maybe it's it just depends on what you see the most of in your feed, I guess. And I see mostly Sony ponies, and I see mostly DC try-hard fanboys that defend.
There are more.
You know what it is about ponies? They're sore winners, man. Like
that's what it is.
And I don't mean to be like Sony wins. I don't care. I own all the systems. I don't care.
Yeah, same here.
But like they definitely have the most like exclusives, and they sell better. So like those are just facts.
I would agree.
But like so I mean it's truth. That's why you agree. But like. Because
much like Halo being better than
they're on
Gears,
top, like they're
Gears is better than Halo. That's true too. So
I didn't hear you. You broke up just now.
We broke up over. Okay.
But no, but I think they're like that's what it is with ponies. They're sore winners. Like you guys are in a pretty good spot. Like shut up.
I know.
Hey, you have Bethesda now, so
yeah, I know. I don't know.
Well, that's the one thing I want to talk about is I just noticed how bad of a company Bethesda was as soon as they were bought by Xbox. Like, I cannot believe how many people just came out of the woodworks and like, well, those are trash games anyways. You can have them. They're all broken. Yeah, like, yes, they've had their issues, but nobody sat there and beat them up like they do now.
Yeah,
we all like their games.
It's like the Skyrim thing. They're like, well, they're releasing Skyrim, and I'm like, that's because you idiots keep buying it. Like, what do you like?
Right?
Yeah, like Todd Howard wouldn't put it out again if people would stop buying it. But unfortunately, or fortunately, because I love that game, it's one of the greatest selling games of all time, and people really love it. So like the fact that like suddenly the tune has changed.
Why am I going to get mad at GTA 5?
The fact that suddenly the world hates Bethesda. It's like, well, they make shit games anyways. It's like, guys, get out of here. Like, come on.
That's when I know you're a pony, when you say stupid stuff like that. And I'm not even a Bethesda fanboy. I'm just saying the fact that they came out of the woodworks like, well, Bethesda makes terrible games.
I mean, Arcane Studio makes almost they make great games that are not glitchy and like they're under Bethesda. Like Bethesda's not just Bethesda,
Well, they're making Deathloop, right? But like it seems like nobody seems to care about Deathloop. No,
and that's really weird. No one does care about Deathloop, which is kind of strange. But
can I be honest?
I think they will.
But even what is it, Wolfenstein? Like people love that game, and it's not very glitchy, and like What? So like
it
we're
runs
just
amazing. The story
we're not
is
talking
freaking
about
incredible.
how that game either. You know, like Prey just came out, you know, a few years ago. Very
Evil
heady, cool.
Within,
You know,
Evil Within
is a
2.
huge, you know, selling, you know, game.
You could make the argument for there's diehard Doom fans out there.
Yeah.
We're just gonna pretend that that's not under Bethesda. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
you guys,
not under Bethesda.
you
Let's
guys,
make sure we're
you
accurate.
Bethesda haters out there,
Cinemax.
stop being silly, bitches. Stop being silly.
They just focus on
Silly.
Bethesda, but
Microsoft getting Bethesda is huge, and put some
ZeniMax
respect on
was
it.
a huge purchase because
Yeah.
ZeniMax has so many good publishers and good
catalog's insane,
and their catalog's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, I am happy because again, I own 2 of the PS5s. Does everybody here own a PS5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you all got your hands on it.
I was the last one to get one.
When did you get it?
Like it was weeks after me, right? Like just a couple. I thought it was pretty soon after me.
I still feel like I haven't had it that long. Like in March or April or something.
Oh, okay. So it's been a little while.
I got mine in March. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but mine was like in April then, and then I played through like the Spider-Man games.
All right. So the next one, I'm not even going to read it. I'm just basically going to give an overview, and that is Sony has unveiled that there's going to be a software beta program rolled out that basically we can now upgrade our SSDs. It's a little more complicated than what Xbox did.
Yeah, you can't just insert a thing into a slot.
Yeah, so literally, slot. I ended up buying the external SSD for my Xbox Series X. Yeah. And it literally was, I plugged it in, and it was like, hey, you have a drive.
Technically, this is plug and play too, but you have to take apart a couple layers.
No. The whole reason
I know Fab was downplaying it, and he's not the only one. I pick on him all the time because him and I just go back and forth. He was downplaying it, and he makes it try to seem like it's going to be like this evil thing or easy thing, and Xbox are being retarded. It's not. When you can literally plug something in, you have to do no thought process at all, compared to what Sony's saying is wait for us to give you an approved list. And then once you get that approved list, you still need to look at the specs to figure out which is the best for you. Plus, the price points were really, really high.
Yeah,
like I think a 500 gigabyte was $170. You can buy the external SSD for the Xbox right now from Newegg for $186, and that's for 1 terabyte. So it's ridiculous the pricing that they're right now unleashing. I just think it's stupid. I don't like.
Stupid, yeah.
Honestly, just wait anyways, because even 180, I think, is a lot. Like that's like because right now, if I bought the extra memory for this thing, then I might as well have bought a Series X. So it's like, what's the point? I might as well just delete games when I'm not playing them, and then just wait for these things to get cheaper. Like it just makes more sense that way.
I mean, in the end, I do think you'll eventually get a Series X, just because you're going to find that your 500 gigs is trash. Plus, you're going to be dealing with lower res, lower frames per second on future games.
I eat lower res, bro.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Kenya, Bridge of Spirits delayed till September 21st. So this was my big August game, and I'm not in any way saying it's bad because it was one of the games since they've shown it that I was like, oh, I can't wait. This
September's
looks like my
so
type
busy
of game.
though.
But I did watch more gameplay, and they've been releasing, like, if you go YouTube, you'll get 4K, 60 frames per second gameplay for 20 plus minutes. And it looks fun, but there's a part of it that, for me, I was a little nervous. I was like, this doesn't look polished. There's something about it.
It's a $40 game, though, right?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah,
but even a $40 game, that, to me, tells me it's going to, this is how I think, it's going to be polished. It's just going to be smaller. It's not $40 because they're like, well, we half-assed the gameplay.
Well, sure.
I think it's going to be a smaller game, which 100% I'm on board.
I bet it's 4 to 6 hours long or something like that. 4 to 8.
Give me that.
Like a good comparison.
I'm still excited, but
I'm so excited. Yeah,
a good comparison for me is like right now. So like I'm still playing Chris Tales. But, like, I'm kind of, like, struggling, to be honest, to get through it. Because it's, like, I appreciate that they're trying to do an homage to, like, old classic RPGs. But, like, it's almost too much, you know? Like, I still feel like it's, like, you can kind of, you know, tack on that nostalgia or kind of, like, sort of feed from that, you know, nostalgia and pay that homage. But, like, still do new things and have it be a smaller game and have it be $40.
Yeah.
but like Chris Tales has like a little bit of jank, and it's like the combat is like interesting, but it's repetitive, and like I don't know. This game could be similar. It could be like, oh, there's some interesting moments, but it's got a little bit enough of that jank where it's like it just doesn't feel smooth, and if you're doing the same things, and it's like it's not fun, and there's that jank. So
say jank again.
Jank.
All right, so it's not a big delay. It's 1 month. I'm okay with it, but like Jeff and Kyle both said, September's filling up, so kind of was hoping this would be.
Yeah,
I mean, an August game. I really was.
It's a shame it got pushed out of there, but if it needed more time, then great.
And I think it's hilarious.
And I don't know what a month does. Like, that's not a lot of time in the game development world.
Well, no, Last of Us had I think it was a month delay, and Druckmann said that was super important.
Yeah, I think they just iron out.
We need to crunch and make our employees suffer more.
They worked 1,000 hours, last month.
1,000 hours a day.
Yeah, Druckmann did say
that's what they did.
Druckmann said that 1 month helped it from being potentially a not a 10 out of 10 game. So
well, it never was. It had a terrible story.
Yeah,
the way they treated my.
You know what? It was too sad. I didn't like it. It was way too sad.
Had too
in
many
2020,
guys.
It was sad.
Man.
Well, I'm talking about the first one, guys. I'm talking
the political agenda that it was trying to push was just. Ugh.
Well, we weren't there yet. The political agenda hadn't arrived yet.
Look, that game, unlike the G.I. Joe movie I watched last week, that game did nail the lesbian haircuts, so I'm for it.
Oh my god!
10 out of 10 lesbian haircuts. Yeah.
Yes. Sony has reportedly delayed. I don't think it's reportedly. I think it's done. Delayed.
It's official.
Yeah, Horizon.
Have they actually confirmed it? Because I just checked a second ago before we started the show, and it still wasn't confirmed. I don't think, but
we'll confirm it for him. Well, you could be wrong,
sure.
but I'm going
to
confirm.
You heard it
here.
You heard it
here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Cancel Culture Current Gen has confirmed that Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed to the first quarter of 2022. I saw a lot of reacts in our group that was like, "This is not surprising." Blah blah. I get that, and I'm sure you guys are going to echo that.
This game was never going to.
I didn't believe it either, but I'm also still disappointed that they talked it up like they was when it really never was, and that's what I get annoyed with. I am a Horizon fan freak. I love that franchise, so I am disappointed.
Is it a franchise if there's one game?
Well, I'm gonna like the second one, and it's a franchise. But my thing is that. Kind of going into our main topic, so I'm going to transgender over
Nope.
How dare
Tim, cut it out.
Tim,
cut it.
Yeah.
I'm going to transgender over to our main topic, and that is, as I went through the rest of the year, like calendar, I am not impressed.
Yeah.
And so our main topic is, what fall or winter game are you most excited for, and why? So again, I'll just start, but I'm not going to name my game, but I'm just going to start by saying, and I'm going to see if you guys agree or if you disagree with me. As I go through the calendar, and of course I'm talking about official, like games that have official release dates or windows for fall.
Right.
I'm not impressed. Like, there was just not a lot of games that I was like, okay, I definitely want this. And I'll reveal it once I tell you my game. The game I picked, I like it, but it's not like, I think for sure if Horizon Forbidden West was coming out, I would be at least mentioning that over this. But I'm just overall disappointed. Are you guys in the same mindset, or are you guys thinking that the rest of this year, the way it looks to be panning out, is a great year as far as releases coming out in the fall and winter?
I think it's still a little bit of that after effect of COVID, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think we're just not there yet.
I think that my expectations have been tempered a little bit. So like I'm looking at the stuff for the rest of the year, and there's like 5 or 6 games that I'm super jazzed for. But is this year going to go down in history or remembered as a great release year? No, absolutely.
I mean,
not,
I understand the reasoning. I'm just saying as a fan, and
same. And
the
I'm kind of echoing that, but like I guess I don't feel as bummed about it,
Okay.
But like no, I mean like this year's never going to go down as like a great release year, but like there's some good release releases to look forward to. At least
I would argue the
let's
second half of the year is definitely better than the first for sure.
Big,
But
yeah,
at least on paper,
definitely.
I'm also with Derek to the extent that it's not. This year is just going to be the game of the year debates are just going to be like, do we even need a 10?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll say this.
I think there's just going to be a lot of like settling, like sure, yeah, Battlefield, why not?
Whatever.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Like I think my game, which the game I picked, and I have a couple of games that were real close to it. In fact, I originally was going to put in Guardians of the Galaxy because I know some people are mixed bags on it, but when I saw that game and then I saw that it was coming out in October, I was like, oh my gosh, this game looks amazing. And I've already pre-ordered it on PS5. So I've already bought it. I'm sold on it. So that was like a close runner-up. And then the other one is Forza Horizon 5. I was super excited for that game. Still am. But the game I ended up choosing was Dying Light 2. And the main reason why is because, to me, Dying Light is one of the best co-op experiences I've had. Like, I absolutely love playing it solo, but I actually preferred it co-op, but I still had fun playing it solo. So it's one of those games where it doesn't matter if friends want to play with me or not, I'm going to enjoy this game. And so this is one that I've been waiting for I don't even remember when Dying Light came out. I want to say 5-6 years ago. This is one I've been waiting for a long time, that I'm really excited for. I really, really hope they do not delay it, because I think this one's coming out in December, and I definitely could see it being one that gets delayed.
Me too,
because they take a long time to make these games.
Well, and I was gonna say they were kind of like in limbo for a while there. Like we literally didn't hear anything for like what 2-3 years, and then there was some stuff coming out about allegations and everything. So it was like, oh, is this game like dead?
They really support Dying Light like still to this day.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that like they're literally right now they're still like creating new updates and content.
Yeah, when they announced Dying Light 2, like the release date and stuff, they were also announcing like, well, here's new stuff for Dying Light. Like nothing usually significant.
Like
it's not like
years ago, that game.
Yeah,
came
but
out,
it's an old game, and they're still releasing stuff, patching stuff. Which, talking about that, it really shocks me that we have not gotten like a next gen upgrade for the original Dying Light. I totally would expect that, with as much as they mess around with that game and update it, that would encourage people to buy their new DLC or cosmetic stuff. I would. If I knew they were going to patch it, I would be like, Jesse, you want to play? I want to play this, because that's one of the games Jesse and I played a lot of co-op of. And I know him and I would jump back in it if it was 60 frames per second at, close to native 4K.
Dude, parkour in 60 frames?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's a great game.
Man.
So my game's Dying Light 2, like I said, Forza Horizon 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I would say, and it wasn't on my it wasn't on the calendar because it doesn't have an official release date, but just talking about it tonight, Halo Infinite would definitely be one of those games that it could be anywhere from an 8 to a 10, and it could be my game of the year if they nail it. If they nail what I'm hoping the game is going to be from what they showed me when it originally was like shown, it could be my game of the year. So let's go to Daniel. What is your game? And then if you have like I did, I had a couple of like close contenders you want to talk about, you can. But what's your game that you're most excited for fall and winter?
I definitely with Dying Light 2. I think as long as the release date sticks, that does look really fun. It just seems like they've built on the original, just added a lot of ambition to it. I like sort of like how the city's gonna sort of like change, and like it can like flood and like do all sorts of wacky stuff, like depending on decisions you make.
Well, yeah, we may jump into each other's games and entire areas are decimated in my game, whereas they're thriving in Dan's game or something.
Right. Yeah.
So like it kind of it behooves you to kind of jump around into different people's games so you can explore new content that's not available in yours.
Yeah. As long as that
means, side note, that means that we all need to buy this probably on the same platform so we can co-op.
Yeah, that game does look fun. So hopefully that date sticks. Far Cry 6 actually I think has potential to be pretty fun. Because 5 was kind of like I enjoyed it, but
5 a lot.
I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite. 3 is still my favorite. But this one looks like a little bit more wacky. Like it looks like some of the weapons have almost like sort of a Borderlands sort of vibe to it. Like just weird. Like there's like a CD launcher that just can like sever like body parts and whatnot. So
I think they've embraced their going full on crazy and just making this more of a. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna probably have a serious campaign, but I think gameplay wise, I think they're embracing like full on like this is your playground. Literally do whatever the hell you want with the craziest stuff you want.
We also have what's his face from Breaking Bad as the main villain. So so that's pretty cool. But my main one is Tales of Arise.
There you go.
So this is another one that can be amazing for me, or we'll see. Yeah. But yes, I'm on board with Tales.
I've been kind of not really into the series for a while. To be honest, my favorite one is Symphonia, which was on GameCube. And that was a long time ago. So
yeah, man.
I felt like their last one was good though. I didn't beat it or anything.
Okay.
Yes, but it's a darker tone and it was good. It's worth playing, especially if you can get it for $5-10.
I feel like for me, the main issue for me over the years with these Tales games is just I feel like they just haven't evolved enough.
No, they haven't.
As far as like maybe the gameplay's gotten a little faster, or they've done something, but like the presentation, I feel like is just stale. Like I like nicely drawn character portraits, but like listen, after all these years, you gotta do something different, guys. Like
the gameplay, the areas that you explore are very bland, but the gameplay is the same. The areas that you explore are bland.
Yeah.
And then to me, the only thing that they've really changed, and this was only really with the last one, was tone. And the tone was darker.
Mysteria, they really nailed the tone in that game.
Yeah, it was darker and more mature.
You were playing the bad guys, like you were a band of bad guys in that game.
And now this one seems like it's like, okay, we get it. We've gotta mature in every area, not just in tone.
Yeah, it has like a darker tone. Visually, I think it's beautiful. Like I think when they first showed the game, it looked nice, but like it seems like they've definitely almost kind of like been massaging it and making it look nicer and like more detailed. I saw a newer video where they kind of showed just some extra side activities, like there's fishing into the game. That almost looks like there's like a house with like a plot of land where maybe you can do some probably going to be basic farming, because I know like cooking is like a thing in the Tales series.
And I'm wondering if like there's a lot of like people sitting around a campfire and eating and talking.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be a little more what we're seeing instead of like the talking heads, maybe.
Right. So actually, I saw a new thank you for bringing that up. I saw a new video. So I don't know if you, Jeff, or Kyle, if you guys played Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, I played.
But the way that they're going to do the talking heads is almost similar to that, but a little bit better. So it's going to be like, instead of like the static image in the back and then sort of the portrait of the character, but not a lot of like animation in the face, it's going to be the 3D models with like the 2D background. But like the camera's gonna like pan back sometimes, and like their faces are actually animating, and like they're emoting. Like that's what I want from this series as far as like the character moments. That's the thing that kind of has pulled me away from it. Is like it's just like a hand drawn character portrait, and sometimes there's some emotion.
And that like, I would say Tales' success is always in their characters. So like if they, as long as like everyone likes Zelia or however you pronounce that one, and I like that one too. People like that one because it's got some of the best characters of the series. It's Symphonia and Abyss, both the same thing as well. So like if the characters suck, like these games are character pieces. It'd be like I don't know, just watching a TV show where everyone's uninteresting. It's like you're not going to pay attention, and there's plenty of entries in that series.
It'd be like watching Walking Dead.
Yeah, or Fear the Walking Dead, or Walking Dead, or any 3 Walking Dead spinoffs are about to come out.
We get it. You guys hate Walking Dead. Jesus Christ. But
how do you guys feel about The Walking Dead?
How long do you have?
To me, that's the most important thing. I saw a newer video. I like what they're doing. I think that's an improvement. I think it's an evolution, so that's what I've wanted. And the combat actually does look fun. Although, and I hope you can either turn it off or tweak it, way too much announcing of what the move is. I don't know if you guys see combat videos, but like they'd say the name of the move every time they do the move. So it's, and the combat's really fast.
Don't they always do that? Like Shining Thunder, like haven't they
Yeah,
always?
but the combat, I think in this one, the combat seems like it's the most fast that it's ever been.
Oh, so you're gonna hear
So
it a lot
imagine
more.
like a character saying like the name of the move like 30 times in a span of like 3 minutes. Like it's gonna that seems like it could be potentially a little obnoxious.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think everything that I've seen so far looks pretty solid.
I just love the world.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. We're back. We're good.
Everyone good? I can't
You're
hear
talking
you,
and we
Derek.
can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear Derek.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, man.
So,
Oh, no.
Derek. That Derek guy, huh? Hold on. Let me
Can't hear us either.
I messaged him in the thing, so
Can't hear you, bro.
apparently Skype didn't like what he had to say. So
Uh-oh.
and he left.
Oh,
Well,
All right. Well,
you know,
probably a good thing.
it
Oh
took
man.
Are you fixed?
maybe the headset shut off, or
Oh yeah.
It doesn't look like it's a Bluetooth, so that's really
you gotta
good.
love technical issues right at the very end.
I know. Yeah. Right. We're at the home stretch here, and it's like it's
Like,
falling
when-
apart. The wheels are
Like
falling
when I
apart.
was recording with Jeff on the episode 69, and
Oh, nice.
and my video just like started randomly
It
going out for
just
some.
stopped like
Yeah.
right
Just
when
like
we were
right at the
finished.
last like 30 seconds. I was like, all right, this is bullshit. Like, I
That's
don't
fine.
understand.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just poorly,
Alright,
but
sorry.
sure.
My headphones died, apparently.
Okay.
That's
Alright,
weird.
well, let's
It doesn't
cut
look
this.
like they're Bluetooth,
Cut
so
it.
I don't know how that happened.
Well, I have to connect them to the controller,
Okay.
but the battery died.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
it doesn't like charge it through
The
the controller.
controller.
All right.
Huh.
Well, how about we let Jeff do his game, and then I think we're good. So,
No, I'm not
Well,
excited for
yeah.
anything.
I haven't done mine yet either. I don't
No,
think.
Kyle has one too.
all right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
So I'm really excited for of course all the director's cuts that are coming out, and I'll even be the sucker that plays GTA 5 for like the 30th time.
You and me, Jeff, we're going back into San Andreas.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so with GTA, are they doing anything different at all? Because I have it on PC. and
There
so
is
obviously it
new.
runs
I think there
amazing.
are new missions and there are new things like that. Yeah, I think it is considered like a direct
what happened.
cut, you know. And what is it? Online is getting a big overhaul too. So
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know. I think you get something with online too.
Frames
like
and graphics.
perks or
I mean, I
something,
know
but-
I know the frames are going to be locked and the graphics are going to be tight. So
Sweet.
Toy.
So is Death Stranding your other one that you're in love
Yeah,
with?
both of the director's cuts, Ghost and Death Stranding. But yeah, anyway, 12 as far as new games go, 12 minutes. I'm really hyped for that.
that's soon.
Yeah, it's coming up.
August.
And
That's not September, so shut your mouth.
it's August.
Oh yeah, it's
So quit
August.
breaking-
Oh,
These are great fall and winter games, Jeff.
What Willem
that's a
Dafoe?
fall game. August is fall.
No,
Shut up.
that, you don't know what fall is. I already looked it up. September 22nd, bro.
You know what?
Listen.
How about this? How about Dan's camera go out and we just end the episode?
12 minutes got Willem Dafoe in it, so that's automatically
Look,
good.
I have no other place to talk about 12 minutes. James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley's fine
can
movie.
talk
you mean
about
you mean
12
Ray
minutes?
Skywalker?
In August. You can talk about it in August.
All right, I think we're done here.
Now we got issues. Jeff is
Yeah,
free.
now Jeff is.
I didn't do anything. You guys kicked me out, and you know it.
Dude, what is happening?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Derek, just end the episode. Just
It's like a ghost. What's
All right, so yeah, I'm pretty excited for Deathloop as well. Kind of whatever. Anyway, so it came down to what am I going to sink the most? I know I'm going to sink the most hours into because I'm going to love it so much. I know I'm going to have a really good time shooting things with my bros on Aliens Fireteam Elite and Back 4 Blood especially.
Back for
Oh,
Blood.
yeah.
Big
yeah,
time.
that one too, actually. Yeah.
Back for Blood's gonna be awesome.
But the game that I expect that I'll sink the most hours into is for Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah,
so
Um,
maybe
I
excited
mean,
to play that with everybody.
It's just always freaking quality, these titles. They just get better and better each time. And the last one I played, like, it's a freaking racing game. I don't even care for racing games, generally speaking. And I played like 30 hours of that freaking game just racing around. It was just such a blast. So I just expect more of that and even more mini games and stuff.
What blows me away is these games are already some of the best. Like if you go play Forza Horizon 4 right now, like I have it, I have my RTX 3090, so I played it on that, which is like the highest level you can play the game at.
It still looks amazing, right? I mean, I bet.
So it's native 4K, you've got high frames per second, everything. And the game is just absolutely amazing. And the fact that they can release a new one and have found new technical ways to make it look better, like to be more crisp, to be more detailed. Because I think it was Digital Foundry was showing, like they took what they showed of Forza Horizon 5, like when they were like announcing it, and they're like, now look at here, Forza Horizon 5. This is where they're showing you the new stuff they're adding. And now look at 4, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a huge difference.
How did they do that? That's so crazy.
Gorgeous game. So the fact that they can technically make this game even prettier and run better and more detailed and all that stuff, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They've definitely given Gran Turismo a run for their money the past few years. That's for sure.
Oh, Gran Turismo's shit trash ass bitch.
Whatever.
Like,
Shut up.
It still sells fantastic.
Yeah.
It really
wasn't the last one
sell that great anymore.
No?
Yeah,
This is-
GT Sport kind of sucked, but I'm a huge Turismo fan because it was my first like racer sim. But Forza's better. I mean, it is unfortunately, and they come out every year, so they fine tune it. Like it's a very fine tuned game.
This is Horizon, which is more arcade, which is
which again, like I prefer more the sim stuff, but like I love Horizon. I think Horizon's so cool. It feels like a car RPG.
Oh,
like an MMO.
By the way, since we're talking about Forza and we're talking about Gran Turismo and all that stuff, Forza Motorsport 7 is getting delisted. So you need to download it, buy it. It's super cheap. It's like $10 right now for the standard edition, $20 for the ultimate edition. Game's actually really good. Like really good. It's really, really pretty. And again, Motorsport is the sim. Horizon is the open world arcade game. And so that's the one Jeff's excited for. And
they tend to not differentiate the graphics between those two, even though they're totally different styles of playing. I mean, Motorsport goes for more like you're in the car right now type graphics, but the
Motorsport's way more detailed because it is smaller. Like I have a feeling what we're gonna see in Horizon 5 is kind of what they already do in Motorsport 7, but now it's in an open world, going faster. Way crazier, because I will say Motorsport games are crystal clear. Like they look like is that a real car? Like, am I driving a real car right now?
The weather detail too, the rain drops and stuff, like it's insane. I also echo your Dying Light 2. Everything I've seen of that game makes me go, wow, this has potential to be a really, really special game, one of a kind game.
It could be game of the year. It could be game of the year material. I mean, if it's as good as like it's being pitched as, it could be game of the year by a landslide. So.
All right, Kyle, you didn't type yours in, so I guess you wanted to be as
surprise us.
Yeah, I want to surprise you guys. It's definitely not because I'm lazy. You guys have said all the good games. I mean, like Dying Light, Back 4 Blood. Battlefield's gonna be fun. Guardians of the Galaxy was brought up. That's gonna be good. Dan brought up Tales. That should be fun. I'm excited for Lost Judgment. That's probably my most excited game of the entire year, but we kind of already talked about Judgment. So instead, I'll bring up something that we haven't really talked about yet, and it's Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I knew you were going to pick that.
You got to switch. You got to play this game, guys. Like, what's going on?
Come on.
It's going to be good, I think that I think it looks good. I think it the graphics look really good. I think for a Switch game. Yeah. I think the story is going to be awesome in this game. I've loved all the Shin Megami Tensei games. I've played every single one of them at this point. I think it's one of the better RPG franchises out there, and no one talks about it. So play it so we can talk about it.
I'll play that one because you guys convinced me. Yeah.
Persona has kind of jumped ahead into the gamers' eyes as far as like
Persona is definitely. Which I'll take that win. I'll take that one.
I know the one they re-released, Nocturne or remastered. That was huge back on the PS2 days because I remember going to GameStop and buying it just because. Well, back then, believe it or not, I actually bought everything as well, and that was a game I hadn't bought. And then I saw like all the reviews and stuff, and I was like, okay, I gotta own it. So, it was big back then, but I have to agree with Daniel. Persona's kind of leapfrogged it. It's more of the relevant JRPG, but I do see them pushing this franchise again, or I think they're trying to push it to create new games. So yeah, I think it'll do fine. Is it only releasing on the Switch?
It is, yeah. It's exclusive to the Switch. Hey guys, and if this does really good, maybe they'll bring back Digital Devil Saga. Yeah, right.
Ooh.
You guys know that one?
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, or a Devil Summoner would be another one in the Shin Megami Tensei franchise. These are all like fringe kind of spin-offs that are prime to come back out. If this
Nintendo funding this at all, or is this just?
They are. It is a Switch.
They're publishing it, right?
Yeah, they're publishing it. Yeah.
So then, Nintendo's being smart here. This is what they did even with the Wii, where they start grabbing JRPGs and making them exclusive to their console. It's a smart move, I think. I know
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Bayonetta, I don't even know
as big as they used to be, but they are still strong fan base and they still sell.
Yeah.
Decent. All right. We actually made it through everything. I don't know how well we did on time, and I honestly don't care.
We're at an hour and 56 minutes.
Yeah, well, if you cut out all the swears, it'll be like 90 minutes.
Right.
That's going to edit us a lot, and so it's going to be about a 30-minute show.
It's like if
Tim,
you cut out.
Sorry, in general for everything. Sorry.
It's like if you cut out all the swears on an Eminem song, where it's just.
I feel like, you know what? Here's how we'll end the show. This is, and I mean this with all my heart, because I want Tim to know how.
Oh no! Oh god!
All my heart.
Shut up, Tim. Shut up. Like, I know you're gonna say something about the show. Just shut up. This is
Hey, it's a new era, guys. You see this PlayStation side? Suck it. See this?
Wow!
Green colors.
Mine was already green. I'm already.
Jesse White's gonna have a heart attack. That's every once in a while. You think Daniel Freitas will really? But I don't think he'll buy that. Well,
did he actually say that?
Daniel Freitas has bought an Xbox. He'll probably sell it in a week, but he bought it.
No, I'm
I mean, I'm not made of money here. I got a mortgage, buddy.
All right, man. That is it. And good show. Good night. Peace out.
Is it though?
Daniel.
Is it though?
Is it though?
Oh, should probably hit stop. And boobies.